I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Man Listen Show. Go to the link in our bio on Instagram. You can click the link. You can get access to our merchandise, to the books we have written. You want to cash app us to help donate the show, to go towards the production. Anything you could do will help. And make sure you tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. Shout out to C. So the rap beef, man, I guess, it's been in the news a lot. We did a show about J. Cole and his apology for his part in the rap beef / battle with Kendrick Lamar. And, since then, Drake has responded a couple of times. Drake used like AI Tupac in one of his diss records. I didn't listen to it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Rick Ross, Officer Ricky, has jumped into it. And I ain't gonna lie, man, a lot of people clown Rick Ross, but the little clips I see him, talking trash, it's a little bit funny. And then you had Kanye jump into it. Kanye has been a Drake hater for years. Him and Drake has had a ongoing beef. And recently, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Kendrick came back a response to Drake's response to him. So the question begs for me to ask this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I don't know how we're gonna start the show this way, but I really don't care no more. I listened to the initial shot by Kendrick Lamar. I didn't really listen to J. Cole's other than clips that were shared on social media because I was like, that ain't J. Cole. That's just not what he does or what have you. And honestly, these dudes in their late 30s, a couple of them maybe even 40. I don't know, man. To me, it doesn't intrigue me like the whole Jay-Z and Nas beef did when it was out, and other rap battles that we have seen. And is it because I am getting older, or because they just not as intriguing as the ones we grew up with were?
I'm right there with you, and I've come to the conclusion that, man, we are the old dudes now. You know what I mean? So I have, friends that have younger kids and teenagers and high school kids and stuff. And they like Drake, you know what I mean? Like they Drake fans, right? So this whole beef, I hear a lot of people going in on Drake, talking about he's this, he's that, he's that. But at the end of the day, he makes music the kids listen to. Now, I don't own a Drake. I don't have a Drake CD. I ain't gonna say that's how old I am. I don't own CDs anymore. Nobody owns CDs.
I got a bunch of old CD sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, but not no current modern day CDs.
Right,
so I don't have Drake downloaded on my Spotify or anything like that. But I think we're just getting old, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you before Ricky jumps in. I just switched over to Spotify. I was on YouTube Music for a long time. And what YouTube Music does, I think Spotify does it as well. They show you like your recap from half point of the year and the full year. And a lot of people were sharing like their recap. I couldn't even share mine because Drake was at the top. but I like to see, but I was jamming like the album he put out with 21 Savage. And if for real, to me, Drake puts out some good music. Like,
and any playlist you listen to, it's gonna have Drake in there. So he's gonna, you know what I mean? So
he makes good music. I know people don't like him, and we'll get deeper into it, with a couple questions I got for y'all. but he makes music that I can chill out and I can vibe to. I like his Sirius satellite radio channel, OVO Sound. And I think to your point, Drake is definitely more LCD, least common denominator, than the other people who are participating in this, other than Kanye, who has been jumped the shark. And I don't think people are really like fooling with him like they used to. So it would make sense that more people would be siding with Drake because he touches more folks than a Kendrick. Because like Kendrick is like they say he's too lyrical. He's too. I never would think that we would get to this point where, he's too lyrical. And then some people they don't like Rick Ross because of his history or whatever. So it makes sense that more folks side with Drake. But Arika, are we the old dudes now? What's going on? Because you're younger than us. So you probably still like, keeping track. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably listen to all the breakdowns of the beefs. Like, so on this line, he's referencing this rap song that DMX put out. I'm like, bro, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
So no to all of that. No, we're not the old people, and no, I'm not the type of person that listens to the breakdowns and stuff. I'm like, I like this artist, Pandora, play me a playlist in accordance with my like pattern. I don't actually listen to albums and play them all the way through. I've got title. So if I want to hear something, or if somebody sends me something and they're like, this is you, like that, it doesn't matter. But if they do and I like it, then I'll play that album. But that's very few and far between. Mostly I'll like turn on Jeezy radio or something like that and vibe out to that or something like that. But I don't think we're the old people. I think the difference is the access to music, honestly, because think about like how music started. It was like people just gathering in places and rapping, and that was like the most entertainment you would have in a day. And then you and your friends would sit around and talk about that later. Or even like when we were coming up, a new CD or something came out at the bookstore, you got to have enough easy charge to go up there and go grab that CD. And if you didn't, then you went and sat in somebody else's dorm room and y'all sat and listened to it together and talked about it. It's about that camaraderie. Now people can just
using
pull
our crew, you got the 5-finger discount.
Is it street side?
No, I did not do that. But now people could just play any song they want to hear at any moment in time. So I think that music has a different sort of connection for people. So it's not the same. Let's gather in my room. Who's got the newest tape? Who's got the newest album? Let's gather in this space, listen to it, and create memories around this album. And now it's not just about the music. It's about the memories that are connected to the music. So I think it's just the difference in access. And so I haven't listened to, I heard Kendrick's, and I haven't heard any of the responses, but I don't think we're the old people. I think that that's just not what I'm into. But I think that it's definitely
Yeah.
This the
I never
thing.
was into it though. Like I never I think that like you got to think about it. Like when Jay-Z and Nas was beefing, we were like in college. We were sitting around together and waiting on something to drop. We had to wait
Still in
on
college.
somebody to.
Me and Lab was in the workforce. We were we were fresh out of college though.
Well, but still, somebody had to grab.
We can still go back to the yard and not look like creeps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go back to Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
Like you wasn't just downloading and listening to it by yourself. You had to wait till MTV Raps played it. You had to wait till somebody you knew played it, and then you was like, "Yo, did you just see that?" You got to get together.
Hi, I'm Marika Moore, and if you want to get all up in my business, you should check out my new book, Unsolicited Marriage Advice, where I provide an analysis of the best marriage advice that I've received over the past 16 years or so. So head on over to Amazon and buy it now.
But it's just different.
No, that's true too, and I think that also has an effect on the quality, because Jay and Nas, it was like 6 months, and then Nas had his album, and then 6 months Jay had, so you had time to stew and think and actually do a good production. These cats is responding in 48 hours, and it's garbage, honestly. I mean,
that was the knock on this latest Kendrick shot, was people said, well, he waited 17 days to respond.
17 days. That's long.
They said he waited 17 days to respond. And I'm like, then we really got to the point where they're microwaving music.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, and it's
maybe that speaks
yeah.
to the advancement in technology, or what have you. But like with these hot takes, I think music has become this hot takes.
Yeah.
I think that has contributed to the demise. You know, my favorite rapper, the best rapper that's still alive, Nas, said hip hop is dead back in the day. He was wrong because he's still putting out like classic material. But now hip hop is being moved to, okay, what small clip, what hot bars, what, you know, what little few 3 or 4 lines can we play that can also go on TikTok so that
Yeah.
people make their TikToks and their reels and everything else to it. And that's really what it's broken down to. You know, the artistry isn't really there, in my personal opinion. And I gotta say, man, not, I'm not old. I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe in saying old because I think words have power. I am older. I am, you know, the OG, the unk, you know, the mentor to a lot of people, but I'm definitely not like old. But I will say that, you know, I'm more nostalgic in terms of what you two were talking about in terms of uh, experiencing music as a community together, memories off, you know, where I heard this song. Like, you remember we used to go to the club and we heard this, and then also the dedication to the craft and putting out good music. I'm of that ilk. So this, you know, this stuff that started with Soldier Boy, you know, and you could just, you know, use Fruity Loops on a computer and put it out. I mean, that's just not my, it's not my jam,
I
for real.
think that's the crux of this beef. Kendrick is not like that. Kendrick is like a lyricist, and then Drake is like whatever the fuck Drake is, a singing.
Drake is an entertainer.
He's an entertainer. That's a good way to say he's an entertainer. Drake
He's
is
an entertainer, man, for
He's an
real. Drake,
entertainer.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
not so, I mean, I get some of the beef that they have. Well, I don't. Clearly, a lot of it's over a woman. And most times when men are beefing, uh, I'd say 85-90% of the time it's over a woman, and then the rest of the time it's over money, you know. So clearly Drake has a problem with women, because that seems to be a recurring theme between him and the guys that have problems with him. So, and I think Drake is safe for the industry. I think he's safe, and I think a lot of people resent what he has been able to accomplish. I think underlying there's a resentment of Drake, for a lot of people, because he's not ADOS, you know. Well, technically he might.
Actually
He is, because his dad is ADOS. He's half ADOS.
Yeah.
Technically he is, but he grew up in Canada, white Jewish mom, and here he comes. And Drake has been, who was it? DJ Drama. Somebody was trying to, diss Drake, and he says, name somebody else who's ran the last, I can't remember how many summers he said. Name somebody else who's ran the last, 8 or 9, 10 summers, other than Drake.
I don't think that's the point.
Yeah.
What's the point? When you run it east,
No.
if you run it, if you are on top and other people question your authenticity, then there's a resentment that's obviously been bubbling for years, because a lot of these cats have been working with Drake. They put out albums with Drake, and then all of a sudden he's white boy, and he's this sucker dude, but he wasn't all this when y'all was making money with him.
Exactly. And I think that kind of the whole situation goes back to me. And it's always a fine line on anything globalization. So you want recognition for your craft and everything like that, but when you do that and people eat that up, then here come the vultures, the people who see it as a money-making opportunity. They put more money in it, and so then it changes the whole game, and so it becomes more about money. And so there aren't in these little mom and pop record shops anymore. There's not the mom and pop record labels who's had all these rappers. So now it's like probably three labels, right? So all these quote unquote lyrical guys who used to have homes or places they could release their music. Now it's just straight on the internet. You got to dig to find it. It's not, and so they're not getting, apparently from these streaming services, these guys really aren't getting paid,
And you got to dig for them because there's so many people with access to the technology.
Yeah.
So much stuff out there. And like
it's so much, exactly.
You don't hit it hard, you know what I mean? And really
because it used to be a time when, you go to, we from the Midwest, you go to New York, you hear songs on the radio there that you wasn't hearing in the Midwest. Or you go to LA. Now I can turn on the radio in Seattle and it sounds just like the radio in Miami, would sound just like the radio in Dallas, which sounds like the radio in Milwaukee.
It's straight homogenized. I remember Lav and I going to Miami, another one of me and Lav's trips, and we was kicking it on South Beach, and that was the first time we heard Rick Ross, and we was all like, "Damn, like this dude is hard." And obviously, as time progressed, and I like Rick Ross too. A lot of people don't like because of him being a corrections officer or whatever. But I distinctly remember like being down in Miami and like, damn man, this dude got some jams. And you're right, Lav, it's not like that anymore.
Well, one, a lot of people don't like Rick Ross because he made that date rape ass rap verse. So let's not forget about that. And then two,
I think a lot of people forgot about that, though, to be honest with you.
But two, I don't necessarily think that people resent Drake because he's had a lot of success. If I wake up tomorrow morning and one of you have pigtails and hearts in your hair and barrettes and shit, our relationship is probably going to change because I'm be flaming the shit out of y'all every day. So you can't say that Drake should get the same respect from people that he got back then. Because I rock with Drake, successful Drake, Young Money back in the day, Drake. I'll bump all that. I have no idea what he's working on these days. If it come on the radio, fine.
You young, did you rock with the Degrassi Drake, the one that was in the wheelchair? Did you rock with him?
No, I never saw that. I was in college already. But see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that he's a different person. So it doesn't mean I resent him because of his success. It means I don't rock with dudes that do light-skinned shit, like put hearts in their head or wear barrettes and do fake dance-offs. Like, that's not my type of dude.
Here's the piece though. And it speaks to the hypocrisy in a lot of us. Don't call it out. You got Drake, who is biracial. And I've been checking this out on social media. People making a lot of good arguments. You got Drake, who's biracial, right? His dad, AOS, think he's out of Memphis, mom, white Jewish from Canada. And people call him white boy. People say you do light skin stuff, right? And then you got J. Cole, who black dad, white mama who raised him, right? Genetically, in terms of like their racial makeup, they're the same. But J. Cole doesn't get the flack that Drake does. And somebody made a good point. They said, well, at least J. Cole seems authentic, because it goes back to, okay, it used to be if you had, a black in you, you was black, right? It's that one drop rule that, the white folks.
That still holds.
Right. But that's what but see, it does for me and you, but I have evolved my train of thought into like, what do you claim? So J. Cole doesn't say I'm mixed or whatever. I see him representing and presenting himself as a black man. People look at Drake and they feel like he cosplays black. You know what I'm saying? And Drake's known to be a chameleon. He'll go with the Afro beast dudes. He'll change his flow for that. He'll go with the British dudes. He'll kind of change his flow up for that. And I don't think he does it in a way like when Biggie got with, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And it was kind of like, yo, I could do y'all's rhyme better than y'all. He actually did. It feels like Drake's just like, I'm going to just do whatever I can to sell records. And I think, again, it goes back to that resentment. But do y'all think that it's unfair for people to say, especially dudes that was working with him, to say, okay, now you're a white boy, but when we was down with you, we was kicking it with you? Are they unfair to go after his racial makeup?
See, and now you try to get his boy a pass. Black
Give
people,
them a pass. I'm not giving them a pass.
we don't hold no
I'm
punches.
playing devil's advocate.
We don't hold no punches. Black people don't own everything about you, from your mama to your feet to your grandma being a crackhead, whatever it is. We're gonna talk about it. So I mean, they call him a white boy, and if you black and you too light skinned, they gonna call you a white boy. They don't care.
Man,
Black people gonna make fun
that's
of you.
true. Yeah.
We gonna make fun of everything about you. Breathe wrong, and we gonna make fun of you having
But-
asthma. Don't care.
But there's certain topics. There are certain topics that are the third rail. And there's certain things you can clown, and like you can generally clown and like nobody cares. There's no sensitivity. And one of them is being fat. You know how many times like all my boys, all my friends talk about my weight, people that you don't know in business, whatever, they're clowning you for being fat. So there's levels to what you could be clowned on. And I think because there's so many like light-skinned tears when you talk about light-skinned people with and then being biracial, you know, "Oh, we have it hard too, and all this old shit. It's much more of a sensitive topic for a lot of people. And for me, my thing is this: how do you present? Because I don't like that fence setting. Either you are down with us as Black people and all the good and the bad, or you can go on over there with them, Little Dirty. You know what I mean? We don't need you over here. Don't try to come when we finally get these reparations. Don't come say, don't get your racial dollars all on and be like, I'm Black too. No, just go ahead and continue to check other on the box and keep checking other on the fucking box. That's my
See, and I feel you on that, but that's part of the issue. The whole issue with the whole conversation though is because they do have a different experience, and so you are asking them to basically say, hey, I don't associate with them just for the sake of associating with you, and I don't think that's fair at all. But I will say this: Drake, this ain't nothing new to Drake. If he grew up in, Toronto's a very multi-ethnic city. So, I don't know what kind of kids he was
depends
around.
on the neighborhood. Depends
No,
on
that's like just like anywhere, right? So I don't know what kind of kids he was around, but I guarantee you they called him white boy. Black dudes probably hit him with the white boy stuff growing up. So it's nothing new to him. So I mean, it was probably expected.
But I don't, to your point, Drake might not be bothered by it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely triggering for a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because of those people that, the light skin brigade, they growing up like, I was never Black enough. I couldn't fit with the white folks, and I wasn't Black enough for the white folks. And then they hear, you calling Drake, white boy.
Hey, that's their truth though. I mean, that's how they felt. I mean, that's probably true. I don't know.
That's what's wrong with all these kids on the internet with all their emotions. Go talk to somebody if you really have some. You shouldn't be triggered by strangers on the internet joning each other. My brother, we did a whole Joan month one time. And when I tell you, we crossed so many lines. My brothers took this picture of me and posted it and made it seem like I was trans and tricking somebody because I was laying in a hotel room. And people was commenting and asking what was going on. We do not care. We don't care. That is still one of the funniest months of my life. All we did was jawn each other and search through every picture we had ever had of each other and clown each other. Get over it. These people out here today are too sensitive. And if it's really hurting your feelings like that, you probably need to go talk to somebody.
But
we got some
if you do go talk to somebody, make sure you get an official diagnosis. Don't be out here like the SEALs.
Man, come on.
and claiming autistic when it's beneficial for you. No, girl. People just don't like you. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to say that you autistic when it's convenient for you, and then you go on somebody's show. Come on the Man Listen show. We'll treat you fair. You know what I mean? But you're going to go on somebody's show, and then when they second guess or they question you or they give you some pushback, then all of a sudden you the victim. Come on now.
Well, I didn't listen to that interview either, but I do know that it's a lot of people, especially our people, that don't trust diagnoses from a lot of those people in that field.
She wasn't on no Dr. Umar, why do you trust white people's paperwork? She was on, I'm not paying $10,000 to get officially diagnosed when I already know that I am, which I don't understand how you I have seen people, let me be fair. when you have people who are neurodivergent, and this is a new term that everybody is becoming acquainted with. When you have people who are neurodivergent, whether it be ADD, ADHD, or whatever, and you can learn later on in life that, hey, I do check these boxes. Maybe this is why I never could fit in, or this is why I had such a hard time. I don't know if autism fits into that box, but I think it does a disservice and an injustice to the people who really struggle with that, to use it to try to create this shield for, this is why my presentation and my delivery is so trash that most people just can't stand to hear me talk. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
I don't know that that's necessarily a correct assessment though, because like I say that I had postpartum depression. I didn't go ask anybody for advice about it, but I bet if you ask anybody who was around me after I had my daughter, the shit that I was doing, a lot of people would say yes. So I'm
Did you
not
use it
looking
as an
at,
excuse for your messed up personality?
no, everyone knows I have a
And
messed
that,
up
then that's the
personality.
point that I'm trying to make. And I'm not saying you have a messed up personality. I'm just saying,
Excuse. It's
are
just
you
saying,
are you
damn, that's
using it? Are
not.
you using it for an excuse to say, well, this is why you all are victimizing me and why y'all should give me a pass? If you
I'm
didn't do that, then you're actually agreeing with me.
All I'm saying is that I'm not going to discredit anybody's self-analysis of who they are because I'm not credited to do that. That's not my area of expertise. Now, if you want to ask me if somebody broke the law, then let's have a conversation. If you want to ask me if somebody deserves justice or doesn't deserve justice, I can weigh in on this conversation. But as far as somebody's mental health state, what boxes they check, what diagnosis they should or can receive from somebody, that's not my area. So I'm not going to speak on it one way or the other because I don't know. I don't know what autism looks like. I do know that it's a spectrum, and I know people who are autistic, and I know that they are varied immensely. So I'm not going to say, you know what, you don't look like this person that I know that's autistic, so I don't agree with it. And then it's like, we can't say that her explanation and her behaviors don't fit that box when I can't even explain to you what autism is. You ask me for a definition right now, I can't give you one. I
Well,
can
like
tell
you
you I
said,
know people.
yeah, like you said, it's a spectrum. It's a broad range, and it affects people differently, and people are affected by and they react differently to it. So I'm like you. I don't know about the self-diagnosis thing. I didn't watch the interview with Shay Shay. I did see the clip of her when she said this explains a lot. And I my understanding of what she was saying, what I took it as is she was explaining her own behavior, not saying how she reacted in certain situations. Not saying that I'm a victim here, but just how she responded to different things, and that explained it. When I saw her talk about, not on Shay Shay, but just in the, yeah.
She did an explanation live or something like
Yeah.
that.
And when she did, and she didn't explain anything. She didn't. But I'll be the first one to say this. Because I often said this to you all when we talk about Monique, and we're not going to talk about Monique, but when we talk about Monique, I've always said, just say that you don't like her. And I can say, I just don't like Amanda Seals. And I don't believe what she has to say. And I think that when people are able to just say that, like folks who question Cat Williams, you know what I mean? I said, just say you don't like the dude, that he rubs you the wrong way. I think it's fair. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not. So just say that you don't like him. And I wouldn't just go out just straight out and say, I'm gonna hate on this dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's happening, to bring it back to, the original topic, Drake. I do think that it's a little bit of, when I go back to say that underlying resentment, I think Cash just hate on Drake. Because if you look at the song that Kendrick just put out, a lot of it was a play on different things that came out previously. And there was an old Breakfast Club interview with DMX when they asked about Drake. And DMX was like, I hate his face. I hate things that he said. I hate the way that he talks. He basically said, I hate everything about Drake. I don't like anything about him. So when Kendrick was talking about, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, it was an ode to, a shout out to DMX. And I think that we just need to get to the point where people was like, yo, I just don't like the dude. I don't like the dude because he light skinned. I don't like the dude because he wears plaits and he has little berets and knockers in his head. I don't like, that he's always singing on his songs or whatever. Just say you don't like him. just say you don't like him and move on. But to try
But I
to,
think
That's too simplistic though, because every time you have a valid criticism, you can't say it's just because you don't like somebody.
but
So
who the
I,
fuck are
I
you
know,
to criticize somebody? That's the one thing that I never understand about the world in general, in terms of like somebody that you are interacting with. It's not like they're trying to like boost him up or give him some constructive criticism or whatever. They ain't doing nothing but trying to tear him down. And it really, to me, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate if you in my circle. There's nothing worse to me than if you in my circle, then whatever reason, maybe we outgrow each other or something happens and we're not friends no more, and then all of a sudden you turn into the ops and you bringing up every single thing that you know about me to try to bring me down. Then to me, that makes it seem like, damn, you never really was my friend. Like I couldn't imagine like if we was like say we ain't doing this podcast no more, and there's no way in this on this earthly plane that I can sit there and just list off negative stuff about y'all. I don't even keep track of it. I don't keep tally. And if y'all do something that I feel is either self-destructive or is negative, you all know I'm gonna put you to the side and be like, hey, yo, you tripping. So that's why I don't really respect it. I don't really care about it. Y'all in y'all late 30s, 40s, and y'all doing this.
that's not the same though. So you can't
yeah,
equate somebody not liking somebody with resentment. That doesn't mean I resent your struggle. And you can't equate me not liking you or having a disagreeing opinion with you making me the ops. If I say, hey, I like the music you made before, I don't like this music. That doesn't mean that I'm criticizing you and saying this new music isn't for me. It doesn't mean I don't like Drake. I think Drake is capable of doing better.
That's not the point, though. That's not the point I'm making.
Kendrick even said,
Y'all
"Oh,
can kick it with this dude. Maybe not Kendrick, but like Ross, Future, Metro.
that stuff is business though, and I think it's business, and it comes down to money, and that does change a lot when you have financial and business dealings, and the business dealings go sour. Then feelings and emotions get involved, and sometimes you do change the way you view somebody.
And not only that, but we don't know these people. Maybe they was like, hey, Drake hot, let's get on a record with him. We put a record together, and I realized by the end of doing this record, I don't like you. And then we don't do another record. And then the next time you hear from me, I'm like, I don't like dude. I kicked it with him. I actually know him. These people actually know each other. I don't know Drake. I don't know Kendrick. I don't know Cole. I don't know if any of these people are actually cool. I don't know if any of these people are actually trustworthy, have value, have great conversation. I don't know anything about these people. We have an idea of who these people are. These people know each other. They know exactly who Drake is because they've hung out with him long enough to make an album with him and decided at the end of that album they don't like him. That's valid.
And the way albums are made now, they may not even really hung out straight up. You know what I mean?
They might not have, but I still think it's some whole shit to sit there and you make money with somebody. And you're right, it's business. It's business, and it could just be business. But I know for sure the relationship with Drake and Future wasn't just business.
Yeah, no, that they were cool.
They was boys.
Mhm.
I don't know about the relationship with Ross and Drake, but I know they had a hot song together or what have you. I don't think Kendrick and definitely not Kanye ever, was down with Drake like that. But I just, man, to me, it just seems unseemly. And like for real, just go do you, man. I'm not really trying to, I I don't get any value on trying to tear somebody down, whether I like them or not. Now, there's like certain people, really only like one person that if you ask me, I would never use this platform to say it because the messed up stuff they did affected people that I know. But if you ask me, I will use I won't hold anything back in talking about how much I hate this person. And I don't say I don't use the word hate lightly, but no, I hate that motherfucker. And I'll tell anybody that. You know what I mean? So to me, all of this is just maybe that's me being healed. I don't care. So when people are sharing like, oh, Kendrick's response, and I'm like, I don't care. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean you don't care? You don't care. And I'm like, I really don't care, bro. And that's why I understood where J. Cole was coming from when he was like, hey man, let me apologize to that man. Because this ain't me.
But you talking trash about your former coworker at your last job because y'all used to get money together and now you don't like them. It's totally different than rap beef. Like we said, a lot of that rap beef is unbelievable. And another part about it is rap beef is essential to rap culture. Like battling and
Yes,
beefing.
I don't appreciate it. And to your point, I still think a lot of this shit is manufactured. I don't think these dudes really is beefing like that. I don't. I
Last
don't.
show.
Hold on.
These records.
Chris Brown beefing.
Everybody.
Chris Brown and
No
Quavo.
holding punches.
Chris Brown and Quavo. But see, Chris, we talked about it, and we all said, well, with Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Metro Future, none of us feel like this has the potential to be anything but just cats talking trash. Now, Chris is stupid enough.
Yeah.
It may do more. And you know what I listen. We've often stated that there's a certain king of R&B that we all still listen to. And I know, like, well, at least I listen to. I can't wait for his Tiny Desk to come out. But it's coming out this summer. Anyway, it's funny to me.
Is it really?
No, it's not. That's a joke. So I've been saying that joke for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, he getting out this summer. But I don't rock with Chris Brown. And again, it goes back to I just don't like him. I don't like all his music sounds the fuck the same. Chris Brown did some damn Afro beats and it sounds just like the rest of his shit. And I was like, I don't like that. I don't like how like you would do from Virginia, you move out to LA, then all of a sudden you a blood, you get extorted and jumped into the blood gang. I don't like how, and I can forgive you for the situation that happened with Rihanna because I'm grown up to know that things happen, right? But then I think the whole beef with him and Quavo was over that girl. What's her name? Karuchi. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
You've been terrorizing and stalking this girl for years. Yeah. And look, like, no, leave that woman alone. Let her have some dignity and move on. So yeah, he came with some hot heat, but nah, bro, I don't
man. And honestly, man,
I don't like Chris Rock either. But Chris Brown, don't like them all.
This is the whole reason why I'm kind of over the rap beef is because now, like you say, Kanye jumped the shark. The whole thing jumped the shark when all these other cats started jumping in, all these little side beefs started kicking out, and I just was like, you know what, man, people have such an insatiable desire to be the center of attention, and this they couldn't let them cats just handle their own business. They had to jump in. You know what I'm saying? Just let them deal with their beef, man. If they got a beef,
What jump the shark mean?
So jump the shark means that. So you're too young. There used to be a show called Happy Days.
Happy Days.
There used to be a show called Happy Days, and the lead character was the Fonz, right? And everybody loved Happy Days. But then there was one episode where the Fonz was like the cool dude who could do everything. Then there was an episode where the Fonz was water skiing, and a shark came out, and the Fonz jumped over the shark, and it was like real cheesy and real stupid. So whenever people say that something has run its course or it's become stupid, they say jump the shark.
Because that was like during the last season of the show too. They knew it was over at that point.
Too young now, so that's what jump the shark means. So and I'm gonna tell you what really jump the shark, jump Free Willy, jump everybody was when Sexy Red, because Kendrick talked about I see two bad bitches when I see you and Sexy Red. When Sexy Red said, I'm about to get my pen game on and I'm about to respond too. When Sexy Red said she was jumping into the rap beef, this is really
you
dumb.
cannot jump into rap beef. Beef is between two people. That beef is between Kendrick and Drake. Some people will catch strays, but that's like when Tupac hit him up. None of those other people were in on the rap beef. The rap beef is between Tupac and Biggie. And all of those people rapped about Biggie. They rapped about Mobb Deep. They rapped about Lil Kim. They held no punches. But the beef always between Tupac and Biggie, and the people.
I don't know about that. I think because I think the root of it was Pac versus Biggie, but it ended up being East versus
Yeah,
West.
ended up being
Everybody did jump in.
So, but yes, but the beef was between them, and then it became which side are you supporting? And so then people started picking sides, but the beef was between Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, but
Side people, nobody is like, let me listen to this side verse against Biggie. No one cares who else has something to say about Biggie. Nobody's quoting that. Nobody's thinking about that. That's not a part of the legacy.
we had Mobb Deep in them joining in. So
Nobody cares about Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep,
I
my
mean,
favorite
like,
guy.
I
Mobb
do
Deep,
too. I
my
love
favorite
Mobb
rapper
Deep. I
ever.
love
So
Mobb
I don't know
Deep.
what you're
Like that.
talking about.
I'm not saying like as a rap group. I'm saying nobody cares about them as far as that beef goes.
I cared about their response too, because they put out their response after Pac died, and Cass was like, "Should we put it out?" They was like, "Hell yeah, he dissed us, so we dissing him." So yeah, but listen,
still,
man,
they
I
still,
don't.
the beef is not between them though. Some people catch strays.
All right, listen, man, I'm over it. And maybe it's because I'm older. I'm an elder statesman in the community, but I don't know, man. It just seemed like a bunch of corny dudes like going back and forth. Uh, honestly, because I'm healed enough, I can just write you out my life, bro. Like, and I can't. At least Jay and Nas, you can see how, especially Nas. I'll say this because Jay-Z, and in many people's mind, Jay-Z is, the best, right? We've had the discussion on the show. He's y'all's favorite. Jay-Z brought the best out of Nas. Nas was already great, but when you had Jay, you had Beanie Siegel, you had all those dudes that was down, like Cameron and them, all those dudes that were coming after Nas, right? Pause. Shout out to Kevin. You had all those dudes who were going after Nas. Nas stood 10 toes down, and everybody, for the most part, believes Nas destroyed them in that battle. So he benefited. Nas, I can say as a Nas fan, he greatly benefited from Jay-Z because Jay made him elevate his game. Because Nas was kind of picky. He's like, man, he's like a J. Cole, like I can flow. I can flow over any type of beat. But with that Stillmatic and with that Godson, when he was like, hey, I gotta beat Jay, he put out classic material. And I don't see these dudes benefiting any from this beef. I don't see them being elevated to push the bar higher at all. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people feel like, okay, they're going to push each other to be better. And all they're trying to do is push, hey, listen, let me get my spot in the blogs. And so people can get in the comments and say, oh, he did this, or oh, he did that. And nobody's winning when that happens.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. Now it's a celebrity thing now, man. People,
it's a blog thing.
They want their 10 minutes of attention.
Can we get the shade room? Can we get neighborhood talk? That's what it's all about. And I'm just not interested.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think that they still say that they pushing each other to be better, and they've got 2 shows out of us. So I mean, it's worth talking about. Can't say it's not worth talking about when everybody.
Well, I mean, at first it was worth talking about because we thought they may be pushing themselves to do better, and because of how J. Cole responded. But now we're talking about how silly it is.
Yeah, and it does kind of go back to how
and shade room and all they would get their money, so can we.
And I mean, it does kind of go back to, like you said, the way that the music is consumed and produced nowadays too. Like you said, you named 2 albums that Nas had. They were 2 years, that was over a course of 15, 16 months, right? And so he wasn't dropping mixtapes every 17 days, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, that's why I think the first one from Kendrick, he probably worked on that for a little bit. You know what I mean? He had, and it did come out as part of an album. It wasn't his album, but it's part of an album that was produced properly, got
produced,
engineered, samples cleared, in the process, the old school process. And the ones since then haven't been, and I mean, you get what you get.
I mean, but Kendrick is a lyricist, and Kendrick can out-rap Drake any day of the week. I mean, I think that's clear. And I think the issue is really, it comes down to this beef is about Kendrick being a lyricist and Drake being an entertainer. It's just, I mean, it's just what side do you want to be on? Just like East Coast, West Coast. Do you care more about the lyrics? Do you care about the clever content, or do you care more about the shuck and jive? And that's what Drake does to me now. He just shucks and jives. He's like, what's popular? What's trendy? I'm a blood. I'll wear red. No, I'll do a dance battle. No, I'll wear ponytails. No, I'll do a heart this time. He's trendy. And Kendrick is like, he's been the same. He just lyrics. And so I think that's what the real battle is lyrics versus entertainment. And that's what either you're entertained by lyrics or you're entertained by his antics. You got to pick one.
I don't know what the real battle is, but I know that if I'm Kendrick, I know that I'm winning when I'm in my lane. And it doesn't matter what Drake is doing over there because my fans are going to like me regardless. So that's why, again, on some grown man stuff, it just don't matter to me. But anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at manlistenshow. Go to the link in our bio on Instagram, buy our merch, buy our book. Rika got 2 books on there. Buy them both. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.